So, Josh, where do we go from here? You did the 24-hour race. We had the summer, and as we shared together earlier, we both, I think you kind of come out of a race and a goal like that, and you start to kind of go back to the ways that you used to eat. And do you think, I mean, at the end of the day, I realize I tend to gravitate back to a more healthy direction. I feel better when I keep my grains and my carbs in check.
Yeah, what my wife and I noticed wasn't just how the body feels, but one of the things that because she was the copious reader, it was amazing. That's one thing I love about working with my wife on things is she's definitely the planner, but also the researcher. Like I can research certain things, but I just don't do it quite as well.
Yeah.
She will do as much reading, and she's also very good about looking at different opinions, but the biggest thing that as she read through this, and we did notice, was mental clarity. Like, you get through the day and you just feel inspired. Like she did through this whole thing. She got her goals started coming together, and that was awesome. And then not only my own, but it was just cool to see that. And I think more than just how our body feels, we want to add back that mental clarity. The biggest thing I can always tell people is that anytime you set out a big goal like that, there's always a kind of a downtime afterwards. You reach a certain high point in what you're trying to strive for. Then you always inevitably you're going to come down, and it's okay. But then you've got to set up new goals, and it doesn't necessarily mean like I'm going to do this, but just and learning how to navigate, no longer being ignorant to what your body wants, because it's like ignorance can be so quote unquote bliss, because like, oh, I can just do this. Now it's like I know what I'm doing to myself. So it's trying, for us is that next step of, that's why I'm trying to find new goals physically over the next year to plan for, whether those are as important as the 24-hour race or things like that. But we're striving to get back into that, and like I said, yesterday we fell off the wagon again a little bit, and my wife wasn't real happy, but I was like, each step is we're learning together. And that's
not giving up. You're right.
And
that's I've been all over the map with diets, and what I do, I have to I feel like I need to walk the walk. But and for me, it's biking goals. I'm thinking about cyclocross season. I'm thinking about the next 24-hour race. But it's finding either with your partner or friends, where you can, in some kind of a social setting, have those goals. So
for us, we just want to get back to. I think our current goal is to find a good way to balance and learn to say no to just wanting something. Like, oh yeah, I would love a hamburger with the bun and all. Then says, hey, I'm okay with not having it. I don't think, you gotta, this is actually a debate between my wife and I, because we've talked about, like, she has this kind of mantra where, like, it's okay, she doesn't want it now, and you don't want it, but you can always have it later type thing. I believe in it, I think that mental approach works for her. For me, it's like, I gotta tell myself, it's okay to say no. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable saying, I want that, but I don't need it. It's okay to sacrifice something, because ultimately in the end, it's when you say, I really want that, but I'm going to walk away, step back and say, you know what, it's not good for me at this moment. Then you grow from that experience. At least that's how my mental approach, and that's the next step for us, is finding that balance. And I think we're close to it. It's going to take some tweaking, and the other thing that we'll also learn is always you're good at, the body and mind are always good at saying, well, we'll start tomorrow. And you always find an excuse to push off. And that's why, we started February 1st. It was like, there's nothing we can do.
Put a line in the sand.
And it's like, well, you're always going to have events. You're always going to have friends that are going to want to do stuff. And that's the hardest thing. And that's why saying it's okay to say, I'm denying myself this very thing right now. It's okay. And move on with that.
Well, I think not giving up and hitting those milestones where you actually are feeling better and feeling satisfied. I find that the diet created an ability for me to, I get hungry in the mornings. Like this morning, I woke up, I was unusually hungry, because usually I can go until late morning before I even eat. But then it's like, well, I was busy getting out the door, and then I forgot about it. I had some coffee and cream, and you get resilience, and I think metabolically your body is starting to be able to go. We should be able to go without eating for a time, days and weeks. That's what our ancestors used to do, and we don't need to do that now. But if I like this diet because it builds that sort of resilience into the body, and then it's not just an easy road, but once you get there,
I think in like I said, our end goal right now, my wife and I's goals together is just to find a better balance. And now that we've come up from this high, and we're now kind of in that lowest point, but we've got another goal, and then the ability to support each other in that. And I'm more active partly because I ride to work a lot of the time, so that right there takes care of a lot of that. I guess the general study is like 6 hours a week, is what you should be doing. Well, I get that in spades because of riding to work, and helping each other support that. And I'll be curious to see what happens in the next 6 months, because we know what we are capable of, but do we?
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. Is now that it's harder the second time around, and that always is. Yeah. That's okay. I mean, that's part of the challenge.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks, Josh, and we'll probably do another video. Catch up, see what's happening through the fall and into the winter and next 24-hour race. So
we'll see how we do through cyclocross.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.